What's up, everybody? Once again, it is I, James, coming to you from the Nerdy Mewzings podcast studio. I am super excited to be joined today by the ultra talented artist. This guy does it all: pencils, inks, even dabbles in amazing colors. Mr. Victor Medina is in the house today. How you doing, Vic?
I'm doing good. How about yourself?
I'm doing good, man. Thanks for coming on.
Oh, thank you for having me.
We got to hang out recently on the Sunday live drawing stream.
Yeah. I hadn't done a live stream in a long time. That was different for me because I was like, oh man, I
Yeah.
forgot how to talk and draw at the same time because I've been locked in my room this whole time.
We're getting you back into it too. I see you
Yeah.
said you
Oh yeah.
got your setup back going and you're thinking about getting on there again.
Yeah. I've been thinking about doing lives for a while. Um, I had done it for the longest time, and then life. So I put it on hold for a little while,
For sure.
and I'm looking forward to getting back at it.
Nice. And you pretty established over on YouTube. Is that where you were doing those before?
I was doing it on there, and I was getting a decent amount of traction.
Nice.
But obviously, I didn't post enough. It was one of those things where they're always like, "You have to post this many times a day." I'm like,
It's so hard.
personal stuff gets in the way. I can't
Yeah.
do that.
I'm right there with you. It's so difficult and it's hard to figure out like what gets noticed and everything. Like I just do this podcast for fun because I like hanging out and chatting with you guys and learning about all the things that you do, learning about all the different creators. But at the same time, you want other people to enjoy it too. So you want it to be seen. So when you get on there and you're looking at the analytics and you're like, well, why did this one do good, but this one did amazing for no particular rhyme or reason? Like, for example,
Yeah.
last night, I posted a silly YouTube short I thought nothing of. It was just me literally showing the Absolute Batman Arkham book that I had picked up at my local shop. It's like
Hmm.
a minute 20 long. I just said it's a good book. Check it out. And that thing had over 2,000 views within the
Oh
first
wow.
ten minutes.
Oh wow.
2,500 views in 10 minutes, and now it's up to almost 5,000 views. And I'm like, why? Like, I put
But
no
yeah,
thought into it.
I've seen, I've watched so many videos of people saying, well, "Here's what you do. If you want to get noticed, here's what you do," and
Yeah, I
you do
don't
it. And I'm
think
like,
there's any
I don't think
particular.
that works for artists as much.
Yeah,
And I'm not going to run outside, filming whatever I do throughout the day. My
that's the
life's not that
thing.
exciting.
I think we just got to do. We put up what we enjoy, and if it works, it works. If people see, if it gets more people, checking us out and learning about all the awesome guests I have on here, that's all I care about. So, and I
Yeah,
know for you, you just love art. And you're going to be getting on there
love it.
drawing because you enjoy drawing and you love comics. So that's a perfect segue into when did this love of comics begin for you?
Oh, when I was a kid. So um, I had an older brother who collected comics.
Okay.
But like a lot of other brothers, they're like, don't touch my stuff, don't
Yeah.
touch my comics. So I would always have to, like, if he was looking at him, like peek over his shoulder and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
then, I had, he had like a couple like Conans and She-Ras and stuff my uncle had given to him. And I finally got my hands on him. He was like, "You want these?"
Oh, sweet.
And I was like, "Yeah, let me have them." And
You're
then I
like, I've
get
been
them.
trying for years.
I've been trying for years, but then when I get them, my mom and my sister like had drawn clothes on them with a
Oh,
black
no.
marker. So like all the anatomy's gone. Like there's
Yeah.
no muscles. They're just in black suits.
Oh, my
And I was like,
goodness.
these isn't what I'm gonna look at. But
Yeah.
I was drawing in my parents' hallway when I was little, and my uncle would always be like, "Hey, I used to draw," and I'd be like, "Yeah, okay," because I'd never seen him draw before.
Right.
And he'd be like, "Okay, yeah." And then one day he sat down next to me and he's like, "Let me see," and he drew Spider-Man in like seconds,
Oh,
and
wow.
that light switch for me just clicked, and I was like, "How did you draw Spider-Man so fast?" And he
Yeah.
never did it again. He never drew for me again. My uncle was a jerk, but he got me into comics. So
You got to give him props for that, right?
yeah, he was like, he saw that I was like trying to copy his Spider-Man, and he said, let's go. I'm gonna take you to a comic book store. That's, because he was into comics. I didn't know that, but he was into comics and sci-fi, all of that stuff.
Yeah.
He took me to the comic book store and he was like, go get something, go grab some books. Don't worry about your mom. I'll keep it for her.
He's like,
And
I won't draw any clothes on these characters.
yeah, yeah. So actually, this cover right here. This is Wolverine. It's 37.
That's a
That was the book I
Silvestri.
picked up. Yeah, that was the book I picked up. I
Dude,
saw it,
that's what a way to start.
right? I picked that up and I was like, what is this? I had never
That's
seen
Silvestri with Dan Green
Mhm.
inking him on
Yeah.
it. That hell of a combo.
Yeah, I got that. This is actually like childhood dream right here. So there's like a print he had at the convention. I got him to sign it. I got to talk to him
Oh, that's
and everything.
amazing.
So like that was like a big moment for me. But yeah, that was the book I picked up because like you see that cover, like
Oh yeah,
it's amazing.
epic.
And going through that book, and I only picked up that one. I didn't pick up anything else, but like I just went through that book so many times, studied it, copied it, and I fell in love with it. And then my uncle like invited me to his house to spend the night, and he pulled out all these comics, and now I was introduced to Spider-Man by McFarlane and
Man,
Eric Larson, yeah, and Jim Lee's X-Men, and I was just like blown away. And he was like, "Just take them." Like he had he was
he
such a
didn't
nerd.
even.
He
He
was like,
didn't
"I have
even.
doubles."
Wow.
Those are the ones I look at. The other ones are put away. I was like, "Yeah," and I just studied. I just studied those books. So that was my like graduation into comics. Like it was just with the legends
Yeah.
who
Yeah.
were
Those
big at the
are.
time, but like I didn't know who they were. They were just I couldn't believe there was people out there that drew that good all the
Yeah.
time. So I went and picked up the series of this one because it was like a 3-part series. And like issue 36, it's like Wolverine holding a minute gun and he's like shooting off to the side. And I was just like, I don't understand how these guys can draw so good. It was mind blowing. And I had to copy everything they were doing. I just remember opening up the book and just drawing
Yeah.
whatever it was that was on the page, just drawing it to see if I could get as good as them. But like those comics back then were just so eye opening for me. Like I didn't know there was something that cool out
Yeah.
there, because nobody in my family collected comics. There was nobody to talk to about it. So once I was introduced to it, I was like, this is amazing. And then I just fell in love with like I have so much Spider-Man stuff. It's ridiculous now. Like I just fell in love with all the characters and I've I've been into comics ever since. I've never looked back from that point.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, I feel the same way. Just seeing the stuff that Silvestri and Jim Lee and Todd and Eric were doing, like it was just mind-boggling. And they were, I would say that they were kind of at their peak powers during that time. Like everybody was just firing on all cylinders. And it's interesting to me that you went from wanting to look at your brother's Conan books to
Yeah.
then ending up with a Silvestri book. And Silvestri was heavily influenced by looking at Buscema on
Yeah.
Conan. So like that's kind of what he was attracted to. So yeah, just all these different parallels. It never ceases to amaze me. So
Yeah.
so
Well, I
you
didn't
were
get to
doing,
see Misama or not because
yeah,
the clothes were all drawn over, but
exactly.
what I could see was really good.
Now, you said you were copying a lot and trying to learn that way. Did you then transition to trying to take some classes in school, like your traditional art classes or anything like that?
I I did, and um, that's a story because I failed all 4 years of art in high
Okay.
school. Um,
Probably because it
Not
was
my fault.
boring. It wasn't the,
No, no.
no?
This is a story that like it's funny that like every time I get together with my friends, they were like, "Tell the teacher story. Tell the teacher story."
Ah, okay. I got to hear this because
So I had a teacher.
I had a bad teacher that took my GPA down in college because of a painting class.
Yep, that's exactly what happened to me.
Ah,
So early on, there was like a tattoo shop, and the guy wasn't good at designing stuff, but he had seen my drawings through one of my brothers. And he asked me, "Hey, can you do some drawings for me?" I was like, "Yeah, sure, like whatever." And he's like, "I'll pay you, but I needed so many." And I was like, "Whoa, that's a lot of drawings." and he would pay me every week when I would turn in some. So I made the mistake of being a kid in high school, and I had a check. I was like, I'm throwing my backpack. When I need money, I'll cash it. It fell out of my bag, and one of the kids picked it up and showed the art teacher. And they were like, hey, art teacher, he makes more money than you. And I
Oh
was
no.
like, and that started
That's crazy, dude.
this whole thing where she like really hated me to the point where my artwork was starting to get vandalized and they had to put cameras in the classroom.
That's really sad, man.
Yeah. And they found out it was her.
That's a
And
very fragile ego of a teacher.
yeah. Towards the end of one school, I think it was my sophomore or my junior year. I finally had enough because I've been like pushed around by her for years
Yeah.
that I was just like, yeah, whatever. And she would always draw these religious figures and then be like, you can't draw like this. You'll never be able to draw like this.
Right.
And she kicked me out of the class. And when they had left, because we would always go outside to draw, draw on the grass and stuff. I went back in for my bag and I did something I shouldn't have by messing with her artwork a little bit.
Now, is this after she had messed with yours?
Yeah, this is after I was fed up because my parents didn't do anything. Like they were just like, well, you're gonna have to stick it out. And I was like, I'm getting harassed at school. And I erased like the head of her religious figure and then drew blood coming out of it.
Oh
and then
my
redrew
goodness.
it somewhere else. And I had Wolverine.
Oh.
And that started this whole thing where she wanted to fight me at school and she ended up getting arrested.
That is crazy.
And
That's
fired. So like,
man,
I didn't really like after that. I was like, I don't want to take art no more. I just kept playing baseball. Baseball was like my
that
biggest
might be
passion.
one of the craziest stories I've ever had on the podcast to date, dude.
It went on like back in the 90s when I was in high school, you had to like bring in your supplies. So you had to bring in like your canvases. And I was doing Jim Lee's #1 on a canvas.
Nice.
And I'd never painted before, but I was like, hey, let's I'm gonna do this on a canvas and it'll look cool. And the next day it was cut in half, like it was just with a razor. And they would lock them up. They started locking up my stuff and they couldn't figure it out. And then one day they were like, hey, we think we might know something. So we're letting you know, just stay in the class. If anything happens, just let us know.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, that seems weird. And so they had failed me all of my class. So when I went to, when it came time to graduation, they were like, you're not going to be able to walk because you failed 4 years of art. And I was like, wait. Like, but you guys already figured out, like, that wasn't because of, like, I was doing the assignments. Like, every assignment was there.
Yeah.
Like, what's the problem? So I went to night school real quick, did everything. And then because it was a big issue in our little city that we lived in, I was like, just give me my diploma. I don't need to walk. It's fine. I got a job over here already lined up for me.
Right.
So I just walked out of school.
That really sucks.
But that really kept me.
It kept me from
drawing.
It wasn't like you intentionally threw in her face that you were making money doing art and all of that.
Yeah, I really didn't.
Just one of your fellow students showed it to her, and then she just started to come up with a way to sabotage you.
I'm still friends with that guy, and he'll bring it up. He'll be like, "Hey, remember when I almost got you beat up by a teacher?" I was like, I remember. Fun. That was a fun day.
Oh man! So from there, this is in high school that this all occurred.
Yeah. So once out of high school, went and got a job. I was still drawing, and I had started going to conventions, started going to cons and stuff like that. And early on, I was getting a lot of companies talking to me. I ended up meeting with CB Cebulski, who was their Marvel's
like talent
their art director at the time. Talent coordinator.
Yeah.
Excuse me. And he was like, your stuff would look great on Spider-Man. Like, I had a very cartoony style. I had a very 90s style.
Okay.
Which you could still see influenced in my
from
artwork
the influences
today. Yeah. But it was a lot more Joe Madureira.
Oh, yeah.
A little bit more, the big fingers, the giant feet.
Yep.
I was doing that.
Kind of like that manga influenced. Yeah.
Even though I wasn't into manga, I was influenced by those artists. Like,
but Joe was, yeah.
Yeah. So I started talking to them, and then life happened, and I had to, put it down. Um, Tried to come back to it for a little bit, and then I had to take on time off. I had a family and stuff like that that I was supporting, and I was like,
Right.
oh, that was just a dream. And it wasn't until like years later that I was like, you know what, I want to start drawing again. I never stopped, but I just wasn't pursuing it like I was before.
Yeah.
And I'd started seeing like so many cool books that I had missed out on. Like I'd gotten like all the image stuff when it first came out, and then I stopped. And then I came back to it like years later, and now Todd McFarlane is no longer drawing Spawn. It's this Capullo guy.
Yeah.
And I'm like, who's this Capullo guy? Like I picked up this Spawn book because I wanted McFarlane, and then I opened it and I was like, oh man, who's this
Wait
Capullo
a
guy? Like
second. Yeah.
this is, and then I started getting all these books again and finding all these artists, and come to find out, like Joe Mad left X-Men to be with Image and start his Battle
Battle
Chasers.
Chasers. Yeah.
And then I found J. Scott Campbell, and I started finding all these guys, and I was like, oh my gosh, these guys are amazing. I started picking up books again, and I started getting really into it, and so I started doing work. I was going to conventions, but like I just couldn't get anything at a convention. Like nobody would look at my stuff. I'd go to portfolio reviews, and they would say, you're not good enough, or you need to work on this and stuff like that. So
It's a little
um,
different experience than you had when you were younger.
I got it. So when I left, like when I was younger, everybody was doing cons, and then I got it right before everybody was like, you need to be on the internet. So I was like,
Mm,
okay, let me change my stuff, right?
yeah.
And then like COVID happens and stuff like that, and um, there's no cons, there's no nothing, and I'm like, what do I do? Like I don't know. I didn't know the industry or anything before that, and I was just drawing this whole time. Um, and then I managed to send my stuff into somebody, and they gave me like a really harsh review. Like
Hmm.
was like, you probably might want to go a different route. Art might not be for you and stuff like that. And I was like, okay, this might
You're
not
like,
be.
is this my old art teacher? Did she somehow get on
Yeah,
with
seriously.
the
I kept getting torn apart, and it was, you know, I ended up like going to get a job at Disneyland.
Okay.
Just I was just working the rides and stuff like
Yeah.
that, and still like just drawing for fun. And there, I was starting to get introduced to a lot more animation, because it's all around you. Like
Oh
characters are
yeah.
around you; it's everywhere. And they had a contest where it was like for the people that worked on the rides, and I worked Indiana Jones, and they were like, you decorate a wall, a door or a wall there. And I drew all of our managers, everybody who was in charge. I drew them on this thing like on Christmas,
Yeah.
and everybody lost their mind for it. And I was like, yeah, I do that for fun. Like
Side talent.
it's fun. And I got offered to go meet with the people at Imagineering, at Disney Imagineering.
Holy cow.
I went, and a huge mistake on my part. I told them I wasn't interested.
Mm,
No, I'm not really interested in.
branch in your timeline right there.
Yeah, and now I'm like, I should have,
Right.
like I most people don't get a foot in the door the way I did, and now I'm like, that was a huge mistake because I could have been doing all this other stuff.
Yeah,
But
but you never know, man. You never know
yeah,
where those timelines branch.
so after that, I got a little burnt out on artwork because I was producing. I didn't know what to do with it. Um, I would send stuff in and it would just get ripped apart. So I was like, I don't know. Maybe it's not for me. Maybe I'm not. I wasn't being like, hey, I'm getting all these likes, so I must be good. I was like, no, if the people who are important aren't caring for my work, then maybe I'm not good enough.
Yeah.
So I stopped. I stopped for like a year, and I took up photography. And once I took up photography, that opened so many new ways of doing things because it was totally different than what I had done. I was doing pinup photography, so like old vintagey pinups
Right.
where every picture was about the lines. of the women. Like you can't just
Mm-hmm.
have them standing there, otherwise they don't look right.
Right.
Um, and it really opened up how I look at things and how I approach things because, you know, it unlike a drawing, like I could put it from whatever angle I want or whatever. When you're taking a photo, like you have to find that angle right there and how you're going to make them look good. And you know, I'd be lying on the floor, being on a ladder or whatever, stuff I didn't think about before. I'm now thinking about.
Yeah.
And then I met an incredible makeup artist who, just through chatting, would be like, "Oh, when you do your makeup, it's this, this, and this. It's all color theory." And I was like,
Mm.
"Color theory? Like, how do you use it?" I was
Started
like, "Well,
seeing the crossover, right? Where
yeah."
it carries over.
They opened my eyes to like looking at color differently. So towards the end of like doing photography, I got an idea. I was like, I'm gonna mix my two mediums that I like. I'm gonna mix photography and drawing. So I did these drawings where the girls would. I took a picture of the girls. They all look like old vintagey style, and then I would draw a comic strip next to them as if they were like like they've gotten digitized and now they're in this comic book world. And I did
Oh,
like a little
cool.
story with it, and people loved it. Like I started getting ripped off everywhere by other
Yeah.
other photographers, and I was like, well, you know, that kind of sparked me being like, I miss drawing. I miss drawing. I was like, let me just start drawing again. I'm gonna start posting things like that. And when I came back, I realized like, okay, now I think differently when I approach a page. Um, I mean, maybe I want to get more serious about coloring because now I know what looks good on people's skin and things like that. So I came back to it, and you know, I did what a lot of people do. I went to like YouTube University and just
Hmm.
started learning all I can, and I just opened my eyes.
Yeah.
And then I'd gotten on a show, like somebody had said, "You want to come on a show and talk?" And then once I was done, they were like, "Hey, you want to be a host?" And I started doing that, and that's when I started getting a little bit more attention. And then I was like, you know what? I'm going to do a convention. Let's see how this goes. I haven't done a convention in years. I don't even know what to expect. Do people still do conventions for artwork? Because I was seeing like no portfolio reviews.
No.
So I go and I talk to everybody, and they're like, yeah, it's put your stuff online, create your own book to what everybody tells you now. They were telling me, and I was like, this is totally different.
Way different.
Like I was like, okay, so I didn't feel I wasted my time, but I was like, there was nobody there. There's nobody there to see you at a convention anymore. But what did happen is I met Steve Oliff, used to draw,
Oh,
he's color
yeah.
spawn and stuff like that.
Amazing
And I
colorist.
was, yeah, I was so nervous to talk to him. And I was like, ah, screw it. What's the worst he gonna say? I suck. That's all I've been hearing for years. And I put my portfolio down, and he was like, do you draw? And I was like, yeah, I drew those. And then he gets to the colors, and he's like, who colored this? And I was like, oh, that was, I color as well. Like I just throw them all
Yeah.
in there because I don't know what anybody wants to see. And he was like, if I had my studio, I would hire you on the spot.
Oh, that's
He,
such high
he was
praise, dude.
he was like, let me give you my card. So we could talk. We could just talk. Like, you ever have any questions, you know, just email me and we could talk. I'd love to see more of your work and stuff. And I started sending him stuff, and he would be like, I really don't have no notes for you when it comes to your color. Like, he's like, I feel you're there. I was like, one or two tiny little things, but like, it's
Hmm.
nothing that's not gonna, he's like, get in front of an editor, get in front of an editor. He kept saying that, but I could never get in front of an editor. And the next convention I went to, I ended up talking to like Alex Sinclair, and him too. He gave me great praise for my colors. And I was on cloud nine. I was like, oh man, this is
Literally, yeah,
great.
because I don't know if the viewers or listeners understand just the level of those guys that you're mentioning. Like, I mean, Steve, he had his own studio coloring a studio, all the optics, and you know, Alex Sinclair is pretty much, you know, just as Scott Williams is his dedicated inker. Alex
Yeah.
colors all of Jim Lee's work
Yeah.
pretty much, hands down. So those guys are like two of the top in all
Yeah.
of the comic industry. So getting that
Yeah.
praise from them had to be a huge boost for you.
Yeah, it was. So I was like, you know what? Let me go show my artwork, my line art to Ryan Benjamin, who's right across the way. Let's see
Yeah.
what happens.
I love Ryan.
Right.
He's awesome.
He's so cool. Like
He'll
I read some
he'll
stuff.
give you so much time and like help.
He ripped me apart.
Yeah, he does that.
And I'm gonna be honest, I loved it
Mm-hmm.
because I don't like, oh, you're awesome or whatever.
No,
Like,
he does it
can
in
you
the
give me
right way.
something?
He does it in the right way though.
He told me to stop drawing and just color. That's what he told me. I was like, oh shoot. So I was a little after that, I was a little discouraged, and I was like, you know what? No, I should listen to what he says and improve and make those improvements. So I did that, and then I came back the next year, and I went to, I believe it was LA or WonderCon, one of those two conventions out here. And Marvel has a portfolio review there. So I dropped my stuff off at Marvel, and I was first on the list of people they wanted to see. And I was like, oh, okay, well, let's see how this goes. And, like they always do, here's a script, draw the script, send it to us. We'll see what happens. Keep sending us artwork. So I did that, sent it to them, didn't hear anything. I was like, hey, I sent you, and I did it pretty quick. So I was like, I sent you the stuff. Come to find out, the editor I was talking to had left to go to Madcap.
Oh
Cave.
no, Mad Cave.
So I was like, no. I was like, well, there goes my kind
two steps forward, one step back, right?
Yeah. So I had a great con. Like I met some great people. I got to talk to Ryan Otley, who he gave me such good advice. I got the nerve to talk to Marc Silvestri because he's one of my idols. So I'm like,
he's one of the
I don't
goats.
want to talk to him because he might not like me.
He's on the Mount Rushmore for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
For me, at least, he's up there.
He comes out with a drawing, and I'm like, no, what? Like, how are you this good? Like his Batman and Joker that he came out with recently.
Insane.
I've studied it. You see the black and whites at the back of a book, and you're just like, I don't understand how you did this. It's just, he's a legend for a reason.
It's that expression where they say there's levels to this, right? Like you can be masterful, but then he puts out something like that, and it's like just on a whole other plane of existence.
Yeah, yeah. He's one of those guys that they'll be like, hey, Marc Silvestri's doing this, and I was like, I am going to pick that up. Because all I need to know is that he's part of it, and I'm gonna pick it up.
And you actually got the opportunity to talk to him. That's so amazing.
Yeah. I talked to him, and he gave me great tips. He really liked my colors because I had actually colored pages from that Batman Joker. And he was like, this is really good. Like, who have you talked to? And he was the same way. He was like, get in front of an editor. He's like, he had a giant line, so he didn't have all the time, but he was like, get in front of an editor. That's all you got to do. Get in front of an editor and you're good. So I was like, okay. It's one of those
you're like, I've been trying to.
You can't find an editor. Editors don't have booths and stuff like that. So, you try to remember their names to see who's going to be where and stuff like that. But then Mad Cave, they had their talent search in 2024. And I was like, you know what? I have time. I'm going to do it. And I ended up winning that in 2024. So now that work's coming in, it's just been, you go from well, we'll draw this for that and this for fun, to be like, no. I need to make a schedule now.
Yep.
Of how to draw, how to fit all this in, because now it's work. Now it's a job. So now you gotta be at it.
Got to actually produce now. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a real fun problem to have, especially because I'm not tied down to pencils all the time or colors all the time. I get to go back and forth, which has really been fun. For Mad Cave, I'm doing colors, but I got a book. This is going to get confusing, but I got a book called Madcaps that I'm drawing. So that book I'm finishing right now. And then from that one, I'm going straight into another one that I'm actually coloring and drawing. So it's a busy time. I've never had this. 2026 has started really busy for me, and I'm really excited because this is what I wanted for years. So I'm going to keep pushing for it and
Yeah.
try to put out art as best as possible. And I
Well,
hope people like it.
oh, they do for sure. I can tell you, your art is amazing, and
Thank
it
you.
sounds like you put in. You know, they say you got to pay your dues, and from what little you've told me, you definitely paid your dues. So congratulations on winning
No,
that
thank you.
contest. And I would say, just judging by what I've seen of your work, that getting on with Mad Cave and doing all the different variety of projects you've been doing for them has really
Yeah.
started to elevate you to that next level. Because I've seen a jump in your artwork. Just like your artwork was great before, in my opinion, but now it's
Mhm.
just like starting to level up, right?
Well, I made a switch. So I was working in Procreate, and Procreate's great. Anybody that wants to know, I work digitally. And I'll say this now, anybody that wants to work digitally or has any questions, feel free to reach out because I'll share my artwork and I'll share brushes. Like just
Nice.
hit me up. Like I'm not one of those people that gatekeeps the stuff I use. I'm very much, if this will help somebody else get better and then make an amazing comic that I'm going to want to collect, then awesome. That's great. All I'm
Yeah.
doing is helping people make better comics.
That's
So
what it's all about, man.
yeah, I'm excited. Like I've had people be like, "Hey, look at my book is done," and I'm like, "Hey, that came out great. That's fantastic. Like, congratulations." And they're like, "Hey, thanks. Yeah, thanks for, sharing." I didn't even do much. I gave them some brushes. I was like, "Here, that's
Yeah.
what I use." But they were thankful for them, and I was like, That's really cool." But yeah, I made the switch from Procreate. I was drawing on Procreate for years, and I was starting to feel very limited. And I know there's a lot of people that use Procreate, love it. And I did too. I was in love with it, but I was starting to feel very um, very
Restricted.
handcuffed in what I
Yeah,
can do.
restricted.
Yeah, like yeah. And I was like, I hear people talk about this Clip Studio paint. Um, I've never drawn on like my tablet, my giant tablet that I have here. I've never drawn on it, but I could give it a try. Let's see how this goes. And I got it, and it just clicked for me. Like it was just
Nice.
like, oh, I could do this or I could do that, and I could have these brushes. Like I don't like to do crazy amounts of brushes. Like I see people who like have brushes for every little thing, and I don't
Brush
I don't like that.
collectors. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like that. I have like, if it can mimic something I was doing when I was doing working traditionally, then great. Then I'll use that because then it feels like I'm still working traditional to me. Like
Yeah.
the way I approach everything is still the way I approached everything when I was traditional. I still draw. I like to draw in like blue, or I'll just draw it out and turn it into like the blue lines because
Yep.
they're nothing. It doesn't feel like it's changed.
Yeah.
Because that was the big thing for me. I was going from traditional to digital, and the screens were smooth. And I was like, I hate this.
Yes.
This is the worst.
Not
Until
having
I
that
found out.
tactile feel, like the texture and
Yeah,
everything.
yeah.
Yeah.
So once I got that, like that paper feel screen
Hmm.
protector, I was like, okay, I can give this a try. But what really clicked for me going digitally was color. Like it just once I started, I was like, oh, that makes sense. Oh, okay, I get it. Let me try that. And color started. I never wanted to be a colorist. I didn't. Like I became a colorist because somebody else had colored a cover that I did. It never got produced, but
Oh,
somebody else colored a cover. And I was like, I hate that. I don't
yeah.
like that at all. Will you give me a chance to color it? Because I have a tablet and I could try it. And they were like, yeah, knock yourself out. And I did it and it was awful. I was like, yeah, use the other one. Mine's not any better. Use the other one.
Started to realize how difficult it was.
Yeah. Yeah. So I was like, yeah, sorry for wasting your time.
Yeah.
But I did that. And then I was like, I'm going to keep coloring my artwork because one, I don't have to pay anybody for coloring it. Two, I'll learn something new. And I really think coloring opened my eyes to a different way of drawing because I used to be like, anybody who looks at my work can see I'm very Silvestri, McFarlane,
Hmm.
Capullo influenced with all the lines everywhere. But once I used to be worse. So once you learn color, you realize like, I'll just do that with color. I'll make
Where
that
you
look cool with color.
where you need to leave things a little bit more open, right?
Yeah, yeah. So that really opened my eyes to a different way of drawing because now Now, instead of being like, okay, how am I going to make this area look cool? I'll be like, I'll do that with color. Like, don't even worry about it. Like, leave it empty because you're going to go in and give it like this cool glow or whatever you're going to do to it
Yeah.
and make the image really pop. So, learning how to color has been great for me. It's one of the best decisions I've made. And it's really benefited me because up until recently, I was getting more work as a colorist than I was an artist.
Right.
So, there was a time when I was like, well, maybe coloring is going to be my in, and I'm just going to stop drawing. But I have that love for drawing so much
Yeah.
that I just can't stop. I'll
Well,
see
and
somebody draw somebody, and I'll be like, oh, that's cool. I want to draw that.
yeah. Well, and having the coloring skill set, in your repertoire is just like so beneficial. Like you said, it's going to open up a variety of different work that you can take that you otherwise wouldn't be able to get. So to me, what would be challenging would be like maybe, I don't know if you experience too many deadlines, but if you're drawing something and coloring it, like, is that really is probably adding to the amount of time it takes you to do a piece,
Yeah.
or and I'm sure it does because there's no way it can't, but also in that what you were just telling me about how it's changed the way you draw, because there's certain things you don't need to draw. Does that kind of balance it out to where, yeah, it takes a little bit more time, but not as much as it would if I was drawing the way I used to, and putting all that stuff in that was just going to be wasted when the color got added?
So the way I do it, way I go about it when I'm doing both is I say to myself, how long would it take me to draw this? How long would it take me to color it? And then I'm going to treat them as both as two totally separate things because I can't tell you like, hey, I'm going to have this in 2 days. Like, don't worry about it, whatever. Be like, if I was drawing it, it was going to take me this amount of time, and then if I was coloring, it's going to take me this amount of time. I just put the two together because like that's the way it's going to be anyways. If you were to go with somebody else, but there is a lot of cheats you can do when you do both,
Yeah.
which is great, which will save on time because let's say like I had done in my portfolio, I had done this Predator versus Wolverine drawing. And instead of drawing the Predator, I was like, you know what? I'm not even going to draw him. I'm just going to put like this warble effect digitally with my colors. And that's going to save me time because you don't see him till like a couple pages later.
There
Saved me
you
a ton
go.
of time because like
Yeah.
now I had to do is draw a couple of trees in the background and that. So it does save time. I
And
think the
another benefit
hardest.
of the digital workflow, right?
Yeah, oh yeah, for
Being
sure.
able to
For
pull
sure.
that off way easier.
Yeah, for sure. Like when I was doing it traditional, I would have had to figure out a way to do it.
Yeah.
I probably would have just done the old style where you leave like the thick white line around it.
Yeah.
And then that's him. But it's
Yes.
great because you get to go in and think about like how does he look in the movie? Like, what effect do they use? Can I create that on the page? Those type of things. And sometimes I get carried away. That's the problem with digital. Just like, traditionally you get carried away, too much detail in an area, but you can really get carried away with digital because you're like, I can make this look more like the movie. Like I
Oh
can
yeah.
do these electric effects, like when he's coming out of the water and his suit's sparking, and then 3 or 4 hours go by because I was too busy putting all these little sparks
Yeah.
coming off
And
of
the
him that
infinite zoom.
yeah, that's not going to be seen. You zoom out and you're like, I just wasted like 4 hours
Yep.
doing these little sparks that nobody's going to see. And if it got printed, they're not going to show up. So
Yeah.
that's the downside to it.
True. And it's people need to realize it's a tool like any other. It doesn't do the drawing for you. It just can change, like you said, sometimes there's little shortcuts that can help with the workflow. But then on the flip side of that, it can also be a hindrance if you get in there too much, like we were
Yeah.
just talking about, and go overboard with it. But I'm sure you refine your process as you go, like the more of these projects you're working on. So what are some of the projects that you're able to talk about that you're currently working on?
I'm finishing up issue 3 of Madcaps right now. And that's the first sequentials I've ever drawn.
I was going to
So like,
ask you about sequentials. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the first sequentials I've ever done. I got hired to do that book. That book has been super fun because it's a fantasy book. It's like four friends that meet up again, and then they go on this big adventure. And everything I was offered up until that point has been like superheroes or zombies. So like to
Hmm.
draw guys with axes and swords and stuff was something I'd never done.
Yeah.
So that one's been really fun. And then as soon as that one's done, which knock on wood, 2 weeks, I go straight into a book that's already got funded. It's already got backers. It's already got a lot. It's called the oh man, they changed the title 3 times, so I'm trying to remember the
Uh-oh.
one it is now. Like The Life of Rocky, I believe it's called. I'm probably wrong. I'll
No
post it
worries. Yeah,
when I
we'll
remember.
find it
But
and we'll put the link in the bio and everything,
yeah, and I got my
or in the
pages
show
for
notes, I should say.
yeah, I got my pages for Mad Cave, which I'm excited about. That one I'm not allowed to talk about yet.
Yeah, I figured you'd
Um,
had some that you weren't going to be able to chat about.
yeah, so those ones I can't talk about, but I'm really excited about it because um this will be like my first like big publisher outside
Hmm.
of like the indie work that I've done. So I'm really excited about that. Like I've had to find somebody a flatter now and all the stuff you don't think about when you're when you're trying to break in. You're like, oh, I need
Right.
a flatter. I need this. I need that. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. So it's been a great problem to have.
Now, you mentioned just now starting to do your first sequentials, and you mentioned you're about 3 issues working on the third issue. So I've heard it takes about 3 or 4 issues to really like hit your stride in drawing a book. Are you finding you're getting more into that groove as you get
Yeah,
into these later issues for sure?
yeah. If you see issue 2, um, which was when I was drawing it, I was like, "This is fantastic," and it's something every artist does. You go back and you look at it, and you're like, "What did I,
Hmm.
what did I do there? Like, why did I draw that like that?" Um, but it was my first book. Every page I was like, "This has to be perfect. This has to be perfect." Once you get past that, that's when that's when you really can start to find your groove. You're not like, "Well, that hand's not perfect." And I remember drawing a hand like 5, 6 times, and I
Yeah.
was like, "This hand's in the background. It's a guy's hand. Nobody's gonna notice it. Like, leave it as it is. It looks good." But now that
It's
we've
it's
done,
hard because you'll know it's there though. So
yeah,
I know
as
the
soon as I
struggle
open
of
the
that.
book,
I know the struggle of that. Yeah. We our eye goes right to it.
yeah, doesn't matter how cool the guy is in front of it,
No.
which is like your best drawing ever, but that guy's hand, it's gonna be wonky and it's gonna look funny. But yeah,
Yeah.
getting to issue 3, so like I finished 2, and I had like maybe like a month and a half between. I was like, let me start up again. Um, Working on these characters before I start, and I found that I was like, oh, it's really easy because I was drawing them so much. Like getting back in the groove to it is pretty easy. But once I got past those first 5, 6 pages, I was like, well, what if I start doing a little bit of this to them because that'll make
Mm,
them cooler? Like
yeah.
my style, like I started to lean more into my style. I feel like I made the huge mistake of like, so I didn't draw the first issue. I draw the next ones, and I felt like I was like, oh, maybe I shouldn't do too much because my style is different from the artist from issue 1. So I'm gonna lean a little bit into more of a cartoony style. Um, and I made that mistake. I really shouldn't have done that. I mean, it's still me. You can still see it's me, but like I didn't want to like have the tone completely change or just
Right.
in my head I'm like I always think about it like, man, I feel bad for the guys that like when Jim Lee leaves a book and they're like, hey, Jim Lee's leaving X-Men. Do you want to draw it?
Yeah.
That guy's got to be like, everybody's gonna hate me.
Hmm.
Everybody's gonna hate whatever I do. It's gonna hate me. Like I remember when McFarlane left Spider-Man, and then Larson did his like issue run, and then Mark Bagley came in. Bagley, yeah, Bagley.
Yeah, Bagley did. Yeah.
Yeah, he came in and I was like, what is this? Who was like
Yeah.
doing what a lot of
Because
people.
it was a jarring style change, though, right?
Yeah.
Because Larson kind of did, Eric Larson as McFarlane on Amazing Spider-Man,
Yeah.
and it
Yeah.
looked dope. Like it's in my
Yeah.
opinion, it's some of Larson's best work. Like I love
Yeah.
the run he did.
That Sinister Six run is like my favorite. Like
But I
I
mean, then
absolutely love it.
Bagley couldn't be further from McFarlane
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
Larson, so it was like shocking when we picked those books up back in the day.
Yeah. So, I pick up, what was it? Ultimate Spider-Man, like
Mm-hmm.
years later. I'm like, who drew this? This is good. Who drew this?
Yeah.
And it took me a while to put two and two together. It wasn't until like I saw like an interview or somebody talking about him, and I was like, that was that guy. Like, so,
Yep.
I had that mentality going into like, this is my first book. Um, I don't want to screw it up. I mean, that book sold, so obviously there's going to be like fans of it. I really got into my head, which is something you shouldn't do.
Right.
You should just go in and draw the way you draw, because I'm going to say like this third issue that I'm doing right now is by far my favorite. Like I love it because I'm so comfortable now and so like, all right, I just got to draw. Let me draw this page. How can I make this look cool?
Yeah.
And once you get to that stage, I mean, I'll probably do it on my next book. I'll probably be like, how am I going to do that? But luckily, on the next book, I'm starting at number one, so there's
Oh,
not
there you
that big of
go.
a there's not that big of a there's not that much pressure on me, I should say.
Right. Well, as we start to wrap things up, I like to ask the creators that I have on, like their advice for somebody that's looking at getting into the industry. I know the game has completely changed as to how, quote unquote, how to break in has very much changed these days. And,
Yeah,
the people that have watched and listened to this episode can see that with your own journey. But after learning those lessons and being somebody who's pretty freshly into it, what advice would you have for somebody that's looking to get into comics as a career?
I think my first thing is just because you're older, don't stop. Um, I'm 49 and I'm barely getting in now.
Oh, see,
Um,
you give me hope. Look at all
yeah,
this gray, man.
yeah,
See,
yeah,
I'll be 49 this year. So
yeah.
yeah,
So like, don't give up because you never know. You never know when it's gonna happen. If
yeah,
you love it, just keep doing it. Um, you'll find your way. And nobody, I've never heard two people's break-in story to be the same. Like everybody's like, I did this and then I did that. It's been totally different. I've heard guys that are like, I was coloring a buddy's book and then somebody discovered me, or I drew this and somebody saw it on Instagram and
yep.
hit me up. Um,
Or like
you guys had the colorist
Steve
for Spawn, Steve Cannon.
Steve Cannon, yeah,
Yeah, I had never heard anybody break in the way he did. He was
yeah.
just like, "Yeah, I'm going to do this," and
And then
it
I
hit him
had
up.
Thomas Nalick on that does Salmon Twitch, and he's done a bunch of stuff for
Hmm.
McFarlane, and he was discovered by McFarlane on his Instagram.
Yes, yeah, yeah, and
It's like you
you know,
just never know, right?
he did that thing where it's like, "Is this a trick?"
Yeah,
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 you never know. That's one, and the other is, um, never think you've reached your like peak. Like this is the best I can ever be or will ever be. I can draw whatever I want. Never think that way because
no,
there's always something you can learn. There's always something you can get better at, and keep striving to do that. Because the moment you start saying like, I'm awesome or whatever, like you're going to stop learning and your artwork can always get better. Like every piece that I do, I'm like, how can I get better than my last? How can I beat
yeah.
my last piece of art? That's the best thing.
And going into like if you are getting the opportunity to meet with a Ryan Benjamin or a Ryan Otley or a Marc Silvestri, like you had the opportunity to like be open to receiving their criticism, even if
Yes.
it's, or their
Yes.
feedback. Like if it's harsh, like you know, just take it. Try to not take it personally, because it's not a personal attack. They're just wanting to take you down to the bare bones and do what it takes to help you reach your full potential, right?
I can almost guarantee you 100% those guys aren't going to be like, wow, you're amazing. They're looking for something to
Yeah,
be able to help you get better. Because the moment you get better and you're doing what they're saying, they're gonna snatch you up and put you on a project. That's
absolutely.
that's their that's their jobs to do that.
If you
So
can get in
don't.
front of an editor.
Yeah, if you can get in front of an editor, that's the hard part. Learn your editors too. Learn the
Yes.
editors' names of your favorite books. See if they're gonna
And
be at
try to
cons and
find them
things like
on
that.
Instagram and follow them. And
Exactly. And don't read into the likes and stuff like that. I tell people this all the time. Just because you're getting more likes than somebody else doesn't mean like you're the greatest artist ever. It just means whatever you're doing, the time you post it or whatever is getting people's eyes on it.
yeah,
Um, it matters what the people who are giving the job is saying. Like, I always tell people like, hey, dude, your mom or your girlfriend, your boyfriend, whatever, isn't going to be giving you the job. They could be telling you as much as possible, like how great you are, but they're not seeing, what you need to work on. So,
yeah,
find somebody you trust, find other guys that draw that'll be honest with you and not just be like, that's amazing, that's awesome. Like that'll honestly say, like, hey, that leg looks a little weird. You might want to fix that. Because otherwise it's gonna end up
absolutely,
in your
yeah.
portfolio. You're gonna go in front of these guys and they're gonna be like,
Mm-hmm. I said, what were you thinking? Well, Vic, I've had a wonderful time having you on
yeah, me
today,
too,
man.
man.
I know how busy you are. I would hope to have you on again in the future, man, especially when we
Yeah,
can talk
absolutely.
about that project that you can't speak on right now.
But hopefully later this year.
Yeah, so let's make sure to get you back on later this year. I want to give you an opportunity here at the end to let everybody know what they should be looking out for that's on the horizon for you, as well as all the different places they can keep track of you online.
Yeah. Okay. So you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, even YouTube at The Art of Victor Medina. Um, if you ever have any questions about art or anything, hit me up there. I always tell people this: if you're an inspiring, let's say, inker, um, I will turn my inks into blue lines for you and send you them, so that way you have something to practice with. I always want to see people improve and get better, because all that's going to do is make better comics, better artwork, so that way we can all collect later.
Yeah,
Same thing for colors. If I have a piece that you like and you're like, I would like to color that, half of the time I already have it flatted. So just hit me up. Um, I'm all about teaching. So I'm going to be doing lives again where I teach coloring and some line art. Um, I'm going to be doing like a mentoring type program
oh, awesome.
where I'll get together with people just to be like, hey, you know, this is what you need to work on. And it'll be 100% free. It just matter when our schedules will work out so that we could talk with you. And yeah, just I have Madcaps #3 should be out in, I believe, late March. I believe that'll wrap up the series, and then I start the next book after that, and then more colors after that. And yeah, just look out for me. If you have any questions, always feel free to hit me up because I'm an open book.
Awesome, buddy. That's so cool. And your YouTube, is that also Art of Victor Medina?
Yes, yeah, everything is Art of
Perfect.
Victor Medina. Yeah,
Keep it consistent, man. And I'll be putting
yeah,
all those in the description for everybody. Vic, thank you once again, man. Hang out with me for a moment. I'm going to
yeah.
give everybody the spiel, remind them to like, subscribe, share with a friend if you're enjoying all these amazing creators I'm having on. We definitely appreciate it. I am reworking my Patreon, but you can check that out at patreon.com/@Nerdy Mewzings. And in the meantime, everybody, keep it nerdy.